In the last section, we spoke about the purpose of keys when rendering lists. So let's now flip back over to our code editor. We'll find the image list component, and we're going to do a little update to this thing. So here's where we are rendering our list of items. We want to find the root JSX tag that is being returned from our map statement. So in that case, it is very plainly the image. And so on the image, I'm going to add a key prop, and I'm going to give it a ID out of this image object, image.id. Now, this ID property right here, I'm not just like making that up or pulling it out of thin air. If you actually go back over to your application and again, go to the network request tab and look at what gets sent back over to us from the API, you'll notice that every single one of these objects has an ID property that uniquely identifies it. So I didn't just make up that ID property, it's something that actually exists inside of this image object. All right, so I'm gonna save this. As a quick note, I mentioned just a second ago that we're going to add the key property to the root tag that we are returning inside the map statement. When I said that, I meant to say that if we had some like div that wrapped the image, like so, then we would add this key property to that div instead, and not the image anymore. So we only have to assign the key to the root element that we are returning from a list of records, or in a list of different components. But in this case, no need for the div, so I'm just going to return the image by itself like so. Okay, so we'll now flip back over. I'm going to leave my console open just in case we get another error. I'll zoom in a little bit just so I can actually see what's going on again, and then I'll search for cars. Okay, looks good. So we don't have a warning or a error message anymore. And you'll notice one other little thing here. React has, or is shipped, or Create React App to be precise, Create React App has a little set of rules that wants to see you put in a alt prop, or essentially a descriptive or a description of the image that we're trying to show on the screen in case the image is not able to be fetched, or if someone with accessibility problems is using our site. So just to get that little warning to go away, we can add in a alt prop to these images as well. For the alt prop, fortunately, each one of these images that we're fetching has a description property right there. So we can use this description for the image itself. It's a perfect use case for the alt prop. Okay, so I'll put in image.description like so. All right, now one last thing I want to do here. You'll notice that we are referencing the image variable 3 times inside of this mapping function. So rather than keeping on referencing that variable again and again and again, we can just destructure out the 3 properties we care about inside of this inner function: description, ID, and URLs. To do so, I'll find that image argument. I'm going to delete it. I'll put down a set of parentheses and then a set of curly braces inside that. And then I can destructure off description, ID, and URLs like so. And then I can remove the image and the dot, the ID and the dot, and the image and the dot. Or excuse me, I didn't mean to say ID and dot. That was image and dot. Okay, so that's it. A little bit shorter than what we had before. So I'm going to save this. We'll do one more quick test. Make sure we don't have any warnings or anything like that. So I'll search for cars, and no warnings, no error messages. Okay, so that is pretty much it for showing a list of elements. We've now got our list of car pictures, or whatever it is that you want to search for. I don't know why, as example, I kept on saying like trees and plants and flowers. I don't know why that came to mind, but you know what the heck, we'll do flowers anyways. So we definitely got our list of images here, which is fantastic. But that's really just V1 of our application. Remember, we had said we just want to get the list of images to show up. So we're now going to say, cool, looks good. Now we're going to start to do some extra credit. All right, so what we're going to go through starting in the next video is stuff that you don't necessarily have to know to understand React and how it works. We're going to go over a couple of topics that are decidedly kind of not related to React, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be some pretty interesting stuff. We're going to figure out how to style these images far better than they are currently displayed. So quick pause here, and we'll continue in the next video.